Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, dear respected brothers and sisters, and welcome to Al Khair Education. We have been discussing why the black community are poor in the world. When you compare the whole world, and why the black community are poor. And brothers, this question every time I ask myself and I ask you as well. Why, when compare white, brown, and black, in other words, Western countries, Asians, and Africans and Caribbeans, why the African and Caribbeans are poor in the world in terms of wealth? Why? There's many reasons, brothers and sisters, but yesterday, the video, I mentioned one reason. I will tell you another reason. And when a business person in Africa or Caribbean is rich, wealthy, they have money, what they do is they tell their children to enjoy themselves. They say, my child, what do you want? I want a Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Ferrari, Tesla. Then he or she will get whatever they want. So the parents of black community will never train their children to continue the business after their death. A lot of my colleagues who are black community, they say we are poor because we were colonized by the whites or enslaved or mistreated. And that argument, of course, is there, but it's 100 years ago, and now it's gone. You can be anything you want nowadays. Even the Irish were mistreated in England. After 40 years, they are doing well today. So, that argument, I don't take it. Brothers and sisters, we need to change. And in my local area, there's an Englishman who runs printing shop. Sometimes I'll go to him and I print papers and for our charity. I asked him, when did this business started? And he told me 1963. That's what he told me. And it's still going on. And I say, how do you manage it? Brothers and sisters, as a black community, let's change ourselves. Listen this. He said, my father started this business, and then he employed my bigger brother. He said, this is my business. I will give you salary, monthly salary. This is not your business. This is my business. And he said, my older brother was working there, getting his monthly salary. When I became a little bit older, my dad also employed me. So the capital of the business always was there. And then my big brother died. First my father died. My bigger brother took over the business. He continued, and then he died. And then I took over. And he told me today, which is 2025, this is my son. He showed me his son. And this my son is working for me. I'm now retired, but still I'm the manager of the business. But the business continues. Brothers and sisters, compare this to the black community. Whether you are in Caribbean or Africa, compare this. In Africa, I know a rich man, wealthy man in Nairobi, and he died. His children shared the wealth. When they shared wealth, 10 years down the line, everybody was poor. And they are still poor actually. They have nothing. So they start from square one. So this is the problem, brothers. Why are you making your children to enjoy themselves when you can create a business for them or they can work for you? Why are you giving them this opportunity of playing around with your own wealth, with your own money you worked for? So this is one of the reasons why we are poor. Every time we start business, it continues properly, and then after maybe the old man dies or the mother dies, they share the money because you never train them to continue the business. We only taught them how to enjoy and buy the best cars and the best life. After our death, as a black community, everyone becomes poor again. So it's square one. This is one of the reasons why we are poor. And we need to change. But somehow we try to blame someone else. We say, 100 years ago, we were colonized, we were enslaved, that's why we are poor. Brothers and sisters, listen. Even Indians were colonized. And today, you remember Rishi Sunak in England, he became a prime minister. So there's no way you can tell me that other nations were not colonized, were not mistreated. Now, we need to change. If you have a business, make sure you employ your children. Or employ someone else. But at least teach them how to run the business in the future. Don't give them the privilege of saying, oh, enjoy yourself. So brothers and sisters, this is one of the reasons why we are poor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. Please make sure you share this video to the black community. Everywhere you see, just tell them this is why we are poor. Even in London that we are here, who is poor? The black community are poor. So this kind of mentality that we are always, because we were mistreated and we were colonized, we always stay poor, is a wrong concept. And we need to change. Okay, this is an old man who always walks, thinking about his health. If you are diabetic or you are blood pressure or kidney problems, I advise you to walk. I've been a patient, I'm still a patient of kidney disease, but alhamdulillah, after walking and doing exercise, my health is improving. My kidneys a little bit improving the function of my kidneys, but my diabetes is gone, my cholesterol is gone, my gastric is gone. So I advise you also to do exercise, brothers. It's one of the reasons why we as a black community, our death toll is higher than compared to other community. When you compare the white and the brown, the black community die quickly. I don't know whether you observed this. I always compare this, brothers. I went to Africa and you hardly see an old man over 80. Why? At 60, they die. Or 70, they die. Why? Lack of exercise, eating a lot of salt, eating sugar, drinking, fishy drinks. You see? Going to the Zap. You don't know Zap in Somalia. Anyway, and wish you best day. Assalamu alaikum.